93 guys. I'm going to do a really quick video on, I needed to do this anyway, my makeup brushes need to be cleaned. So for all of you that don't wear makeup, this may not be so applicable. But there's no reason for me to do things without making a video about them. So I want to say it is very important to clean your makeup brushes. This is a makeup brush. The reason that you want to clean your makeup brushes very, very regularly is because when you put your makeup on and you're putting it on your face, you get germs and all kinds of bacteria inside the bristles, and when you go to put your makeup on the next day, if you're using those same nasty brushes, then you're putting that same nasty stuff back on your face. And that's what is the cause of a lot of people's acne. I know it's typically it's the cause of my acne. It's either that or because I was picking at something, which I still do. It's so ridiculous. But as you can see, which side? No, not that side. I don't do this mirror image thing. Okay, so anyway, the reason that I know it's time to clean my brushes is because I developed it today, like as I was going about my business. Not okay, it's covered up and, you know, it's like as it should be. But the best way to cover them up is just to not get them. So that is why you have to clean your brushes regularly. I actually keep, where is it? Oh, I actually keep a spray bottle like this. This is just alcohol, pure alcohol, SD alcohol from the store. The higher the percent, like this I think is 71% because that's all they had. I prefer to get the 90% or higher. The higher the percentage, the quicker it dries. I don't know the science on that. I wish I did now that I'm talking about it on this video, but I'll file and store it. I will figure out why that works. So anyway, I just keep a spray bottle of alcohol handy. And then when I do my makeup every day, I just go in and I'll just spray it like this. Just kind of spray it. And you don't have to spray it a lot. And then I have a wash towel. It's just a little washcloth. And I take, ooh, I sprayed that all over the computer. Just kidding, it's all good. Love you, babe. So then I take this now wet with alcohol brush, and I use you could use a tissue. I use the towel, and I just back and forth, and you know, don't ruin your brush bristles or anything, but just back and forth. And you'll see makeup coming off. I don't know if you can see that on there. I don't know about lighting and stuff yet. I'm just, oh, wrong way. Okay, see that? You can see that makeup? That's what that is. And so that's makeup that's no longer on your brush, which is a good thing. And so you do that and just kind of get the makeup brushes, get as much of it off as you can. And then I like to just kind of let it dry for just a minute. Like I said, it doesn't take very long because it's alcohol, which is why I like to get the higher percentage so it'll dry the fastest possible, because typically when I'm getting ready and putting my makeup on, I just don't like to sit around and wait for my brushes to dry. That just takes more time out of the day, and that's silly. So that's what I do on an everyday basis, just to make sure that, just to kind of help keep that clean during the week. But once a week or so, okay, that's a lie. Once a week or so is when I'm supposed to clean my brushes, and once a week or so is when I intend to clean my brushes. What typically happens is I do the alcohol thing every day, all the time. I probably haven't cleaned my brushes in a month, which is probably why I'm getting a bit. So anyway, so once a week is what you should do, but I know how busy everybody is. I'm busy too. So as often as you can is a little bit more practical. But I've seen a lot of different people talk about different ways to clean their brushes, and there are a couple of different ways that I do it. Today I'm going to talk about the greenest way to clean the brushes, and it's really simple. And if you think about it, the science of it is kind of cool. So this is just baking soda, and you can't see that, but there's baking soda in here. So I basically just dip my brush in the baking soda and I tap it off the sides, and I just pretty much coat the brushes. See how the bristles are coated with baking soda now? And it doesn't take much. It's a really fine powder, and you can see it, and you know, there's not really a whole lot of fancy to this. So it's all coated with baking soda. So do you remember what happens when you mix baking soda with vinegar? You get that fun reaction like when you make the volcanoes in school, which I never did, so I get to do that stuff now with everything else that I do. But the whole thing with the baking soda, the reason you're using baking soda, I guess I could tell you why, is that the baking soda absorbs the oil. So any oils that have gotten onto your brush from your face are going to be soaked up by this baking soda. So you can let it sit for a minute or two and let the you don't have to, it doesn't really take that long at all. So you can let it sit, and if you want to, you can kind of brush it into the bristles a little bit more and rub it back and forth, just like you did with the alcohol, just back and forth, and the friction between the bristles and the wash towel are going to kind of get some, it rolls that baking soda and that grease, I'm thinking of cleaning the sink. The baking soda absorbs the oil from the bristles, and then you can kind of rub it off onto the towel, and then you get most of it off. But for the rest of it, because you want to get the oil and stuff off, but you also want to make sure that it's disinfected, because you don't want to be taking any new germs and bacteria back to your brush next time you go to apply your makeup. Luckily for us, vinegar is antibacterial, and it kills stuff like that. So I just have a jar. I just have a jar. It's full of white vinegar. I know it looks like water, it's vinegar. Distilled white vinegar from the store. You can find it anywhere. So I'm going to take my brush, now coated with baking soda, and I'm going to stick it in my jar. See how it's bubbling? That's the reaction that you want. That is the vinegar reacting with the baking soda. I'm going to do it again just so you can see for fun. You see if I can get a really good reaction. It's kind of fun. And I just kind of let it sit in there for a little bit, and just until it kind of quits fizzing, which it doesn't really do because I do them one after the other, and it just kind of fizzes for a long time. Don't do them all at once or anything like that, because then it's just going to fizz, and it could possibly fizz over. I know that from experience, by the way. So I coated my big giant brush, and I'm going to, I tapped it off a little bit, but I'm not going to rub it into the towel because I want you to see the fun reaction. Okay, so I've got my jar of vinegar that used to be red peppers, obviously, and now you can see it, and in we go. And there it goes. How fun is that? I'm not really doing anything, I'm just sitting it in there right now. You can stir it around, and that'll kind of get the baking soda from deep inside the bristles to react, and so you're cleaning everything. And I will say that when you're doing this, you're getting rid of a lot of dirt and oil and leftover makeup out of these brushes, and you're going to end up with a little film on the top of the vinegar, and you'll just see it looks gross because it's little pieces of gunk that have come off. And so I use the brushes against each other to just kind of wipe that stuff off before I pull them out, and then I actually rinse them off under some running water a little bit, just to kind of help get the rest of that stuff off of there. And then I just set it to dry. Now here's the important thing about when you're drying your brushes. Ideally, you want to dry them standing upside down like that. You don't want to dry them standing up like this. Like I know a lot of people will take their whatever cup they put their makeup brushes in, they'll just put them back in there to, like this, up to dry, and that's not good, because then the water and the vinegar can drip down into the I can't think of what this is called right now, but it'll drip down, it'll loosen the glue, and then your bristles will come out, and then you have to go buy new brushes, and that's a pain in the butt. So when you dry them, you want to dry them upside down. However you want to do that is up to you. They make brush guards so that you can put them on the ends, and then you can kind of set them up in the jar, and then the water will drip out, and it's a great system. I don't have brush guards, so when I rinse them, I make sure afterwards that I squeeze all the water out like this. I mean gently, but get all the water out, and I squeeze it until I get as much water out as possible. I dry it with a paper towel or with my little towel, whatever I'm using, and I just make sure that it's almost completely dry, and then I actually dry them sideways like this. I just put them on the counter, and I hang them over the edge so that the bristles are hanging over the edge and not touching the shelf, because that just adds more bacteria to it. And then I always lay a clean towel, a little hand towel like this one, a clean one, over the top of it, just to keep any dust particles or bacteria flying through the air, you know, and whatnot, to keep from landing on my brushes. And then it typically will, I like to do this at night because it takes a little bit to dry, and typically when I wake up the next morning, they're ready to go. But that's it. It's very simple. It's very economically sound, and it's one of the ways that I like to deep clean my brushes. And if you have any questions, let me know. I mean, that's pretty straightforward, but there's one fun thing you can start with. So you guys have a great day. Have a beautiful day, and that's it. 93.